I know Fulton, I heard Fulton actually did get something done. I heard that. I don't.
And understand they work under a set of state statutes that are different than Indiana.
Like Grandview.
No, understand that. The Grandview's process is exactly the same deep hole that we've fallen into. Is that there's an issue, it's tried before the city or in their case the town, and there's a request to have a hearing. The hearing goes to the court sets the docket.
I understand. I mean,
The judge picks his date, and then we tap dance that again. It's like a revolving door.
you would think somebody up in the state would say, what, all these places doing this, somebody's got to do something.
You're talking to a city who had it. You're talking to a city who had this actually in Pike County, and was there so long that the judge retired, and then it was sent to Spencer County. That's what we're living down here. And again, understand, I've had roughly 2+ years of trying to rework that maze in city and court, trying to make something happen. These two particular properties didn't happen or didn't show itself until that wall blew out. Until that wall blew out, there was no indication that there was a problem. Bruce, was that February, March? When we seen that wall, March maybe? March, okay. So from March to this date, that's really what time frame we built with these two properties that's on this agenda tonight. So that was the shortest amount, or the closest set of buildings that have issues that we're dealing with, compounded with what's already been dealt with, or is being dealt with, put it that way. So yeah, from March until this date, we have treaded from office to office to office, looking for that remedy that the city just doesn't have capability to do on its own. Grandview's going to find that out as well.
Has Cannelton reached out to try and buy the property?
Trying to buy property for this bar is almost an impossibility.
Okay.
Why not?
Well, I mean, that would keep the legal,
Sure.
what you're going to with all the legal stuff. I didn't know if y'all have reached out.
We've done this dance for years.
Okay.
Nothing's for sale. Nothing for sale. Not at all. Spencer, you got?
I'm Spencer. I work for the city of Cannelton. I used to be on the council back when this first started happening. I just wanted to read straight from the Indiana Code Book and then get a couple examples from other cities in Indiana where they've had similar issues, and then really just ask Rod how similar this is from a lawyer's standpoint. But straight from Indiana's Code Book, we've got IC 36799. If the enforcement authority finds it necessary to take emergency action concerning an unsafe premises in order to protect life, safety, or property, it may take that action without issuing an order or giving notice. However, this emergency action must be limited to removing any immediate danger. We'll come back to that. Some examples from the city of Huntington, what their bylaws indicate as unsafe, would be buckling, load-bearing elements, extreme exterior walling, progressive roof failure. Personally, I feel like these buildings, all three of those apply. Then we've also got active ground subsurface failures, which would be like sinkhole intersections, which the state of the sidewalks there on 5th Street, or 6th Street, I believe it is, definitely kind of imply some sinkhole issues. Those would also apply. And then funny with what he mentioned earlier, asbestos, there's a compromised hazardous material storage. Now, they aren't commercial buildings storing asbestos, but they do have asbestos in them. And if the building were to collapse, the dispersion of that asbestos is considered hazardous, which is also grounds for an emergency teardown that requires no notice. The city is, as far as what I can tell from the Indiana Code, would be warranted to do so. Is that how it works, Rob, or not?
You're talking about the under the unsafe building code, and there's a whole section on it, and you isolated the one section that relates to emergency action, which is 36799, and we're aware of that. And as a matter of fact, we used that the last time we tore down one of these buildings. It was under 36799 in part. That's pending, so I'm not going to really talk too much more about that because that's in litigation still today. The issue really here is we need a structural engineer. We lost the guy we had because in order to do something like that, we have to be able to support it factually, or we're opening ourselves up to problems legally.
So are you saying if you could get a structural engineer down here and look at that, you can move forward? I know a lot of structural engineers.
Well, give us the name of a good one.
Schaefer, one of my clients is Schaefer, that's what they do, structural engineering.
We need something to back our building inspector. If he makes an opinion, if he has an opinion with regard to this property, if he comes to us and he says, yes, this is an emergency situation.
I can make some phone calls tomorrow and see if I can get it one.
So, you know, I was on the phone today, more than one phone call to structural engineers throughout southern Indiana. And I spoke with one briefly. I've got return calls coming back from their office in reference to this emergency issue. I left the building inspector with the number to assist me with tomorrow. They'll make phone calls for me to another set of engineers that may or may not come down. There's a chance, just a chance, they may not even have to come to the city, but they may be able to utilize the photos that we've taken and make determination from that, because it's not mandated that they go inside the building. So it's just about what they see from the outside, which would shorten the time of turnaround to get that clearance to make that demolition, since we've come to this point. Now, having said that, the biggest problem right now is whatever demolition that may occur up there is going to involve the pump. And the pumper's in litigation, which means we have to take pertinent information to that judge, presiding judge, to get clearance from him to take that building along with the other two. Okay? That is part of this process. It's something that we're working on. Again, we've gone to that hurdle. We're trying to get ourselves over it to the next phase. But as we speak on the state statutes, we're following those to not, I'll repeat, to not fall back in that same pit that left the pumper standing in the first place for 3 years. Because somebody didn't cross that T or dot that I. Because when it comes down, we want it down accordingly, and that we follow the law, because that's what we do in the city. We follow the law, we make it appropriate, and we do it once, and then we're done with it. So that is part of this steps that we're taking. So it's a process, it's a plan, and it's in progress.
How long have you been without a structural engineer to look at this?
Just how long have we been without?
Just a couple of months? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was the same person. I mean, still, I didn't know if it was a year.
And as a matter of fact, when he was still alive, he would have came here, but didn't have the opportunity to do it. And then we've got to get through the muddling to find out specifically who that engineer producer may have to have, who it is presented to. But it is, again, a legal process. If it's not done right, somebody's going to come up and bite us on the rear end. And we're not going to have that happen.
Does somebody else want to speak?
Patty does.
How do you ever have to come down like
Patty, they can't hear.
Charles Skaggs, he's a structural engineer. I have his contact information. He'll be here by the end of the week.
I hope to have one here before that, but if that's not the case, I'll get back with you.
There you go.
I can't even hear that fast.
I did make fun of pushing me to speak. I didn't want to. But for our attorney, I bought a house here, and it took me 2 months to get a lien lifted off this house. I called you, I went to your office, it was locked. Something that, to close on a property took me 2 months. This girl doesn't have 2 months. So I hope you are more prompt with answering phone calls and emails to deal with this than you are any other. I had to literally call Smokey and beg him to have you to do this for me.
And I'm not gonna get into my private practice, but I handle.
No, this is for the Cannelton. This is for
handle 50
Cannelton.
criminal cases in this county.
I
on a
get
regular
that.
basis, man. I go to trial regularly.
Then maybe we need someone else.
I said we need a second attorney.
So.
Or a new one.
This was for Cannelton business that I came to.
My suggestion to you would be, unfortunately, we had a guy that used to do a lot of property law here. Unfortunately, all our attorneys are retired, right? And as a result, we're getting fewer and fewer people that are available to do exactly what you're talking about. I understand.
Ed, you got something? No.
If somebody else wants to speak,
I was on the council in the last administration, and when we made the move on the Gainer building and the pumper, we did not, the administration did not cross all the T's and the I's. From that, we failed to get an asbestos inspection before demo. That's the previous administration, which I was a member of, so I'm gonna take a little blame here for that too. We got the pumper building down, and then the injunction showed up. But at that time, our engineer comments on the pumper building was it's not in imminent danger of falling down. And I voiced, if you want to go back and look at it, I voiced my concern about that because I didn't think we had a legal basis to demo it. But anyway, that turned into a fiasco. So we had to reset. The reset went on into the next administration. And we have a problem with that. When we reset administrations, then all the progress has either come to a standstill, if not lost. So Smokey got in there and we had to reset everything. But the pumper, like Smokey said, is tied to the other two buildings. So that the pumper is the key here. If we can get something in the courts on that one, and then the other two should go pretty quickly.
I think if you take one of those pumper walls down, the rest will follow pretty easily.
Yeah.
I agree. Is there anything that we can do to be more aggressive in this, to either pursue all of it, or at the very least just hound everybody? Like, I know you have to, but like in terms of, obviously her lawyers are sharp, so she is way smarter when it comes to all of that, and the majority of our general population is not very voiced in law, myself included. Like, can we not just like be more aggressive about all of this? And the fact that, like, I know you don't have to live here, but like we do, and you don't have to see it every day, but we do. Like, our property values are affected by it. If I knew how to argue it, I would, but I don't, so I just stay in my little restaurant. But like, we pay you to do it. Can you be more aggressive when it comes to all of this? Like, I know you're just as tired of hearing about this crap as what we are. I'd be tired of working the case by now.
To answer that question, I've been very aggressive all this week myself. I worked the whole week myself. I email everybody on during the night, Sundays, and everything else. And the most important thing you can do is what we're doing tonight. Is this right here. It's very important. Right now, I think we're as aggressive as we can be. But most importantly, being very smart. We're not every eye across every cheek. There's been past mistakes. And I said, Mark, still, Spencer, there's mistakes. And it's a process how we have to do it. And that's what we're here tonight doing. And it's real important that everybody's testimony, more so than what you realize. This is, it's time. We have to do it. Like I said, IDM, we've been notified. We know the process of that, we know the process of that engineer, we know the process of state statutes, we know everything we need to know now that I feel that we need to know. Now we need your testimonials, we need your your stuff here, and let's get moving. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well, I
yeah,
come
yeah,
up here, go ahead. You want to
Like
finish?
me, I've had property here for a long time. I sit every day. I got property down in 1997. It makes me sick. Yeah, I know where you're coming from because I was I was with you. I want your business successful, and we all do. But also, a lot of people don't understand because they don't feel what you feel. They can hear you and they can see it, but they don't feel the pain you're going through. I feel it. I promise you. And especially Billy. Where's Billy? He's still here? Just like I talked to him today. Great. That's what I said. You're right. You know, and
No one sitting at this table is going to argue with your case.
we just
At all.
can't share everything with you tonight. I wish we could. It just doesn't work that way. So we're kind of dancing a fine line here. Right, Rod?
Absolutely.
So can I ask a quick question then before he talks? I don't like to interrupt and I
No, go
apologize for
ahead.
you, but
No,
just
go
because
ahead.
it's been brought up and I meant to ask. Is there any possible way, since you all cannot go into detail with everything, is there any way we can get a time frame possibly closer than any of the time frames that we've had? That we can get something done?
Rod, do you want to answer that? Or we get some time?
I mean,
Because we have to rely on others.
If we get a structural engineer in here, I think we can move this along pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly. Not.
You can get one here tomorrow.
okay.
That's what I said, I don't need that engineer for 20 minutes, because the buildings are going to tell itself. It's going to tell on itself. And I've argued that every time I've showed those pictures, no matter where I'm at. The pictures don't lie. You got doors hanging off rafters, for God's sake. Why are you not letting us do our due diligence in getting this light out of the center of our city? And the answer has always been there's a process. Well, we're still doing the process.
Roxanne would say so.
Roxanne, go ahead.
Can't hear you.
There's a lot of other property that she owns in Cannelton. The gentleman down here on 4th Street, my heart breaks for him. I know the houses he's talking about. We've all watched them deteriorate. The city has ordinances. Are we fining her on a weekly or a monthly or whatever basis it is on those properties and addressing them? Because you know what? Another 2.5 years in litigation with this, maybe those are going to be in the same situation. Yes, that was my point.
Well, we're finding, we should spend thousands of dollars in fines. At one time, we had ordered her to replace all the windows on some of these buildings, and she was not doing that, and she ended up paying several $1,000s in fines. I think we could do more on that front, actually.
There's 24 hours a day there. 24 hours a day. And we take these as set by importance, and everything is important to everyone. But I got a real issue on this Main Street that absorbs the time that I have to get that right, because that's really creating the largest problem in this city. And understand, those houses didn't turn that way last month or last year. They turned that away years ago. Years ago. That's right. And they've just rolled over. They've just rolled over into this administration. So I've got to pick them as I can by the shape that they are and what menace they create. So is it off the radar? No, none of that is off the radar. I've got to get to the courts and get the Rosenblatt building, the deposition on that, the Harding building. My God, I was finding that building 14 years ago as the mayor to the tune of $30-some thousand in fines, and the next administration comes and deletes the entire fine. Forgives us. That you got to wonder about. Okay, and then I come back and I'm looking at the same building 14 years later, the same building that I'd already been fined the one that owned it before. That's the kind of battle I'm up against here. And I say I myself and the Board of Public Works and the council when they meet. So we have so many hours and so much times we can put two people to do that, and sometimes we just simply run out of time. And the city the size that we are, we don't have so many people to work with and so much funds to make it happen. And I'm not going to break the city. I'm not going to break the city for one woman.
But when you find some of these other properties that she has, wouldn't that help with the original, with what we're trying to do? I mean, there's two by our house.
Well, I don't know that they would do anything for what we're doing here, because we're talking about the two buildings.
What she's doing as a whole, helps with what we're going on there.
If you give her enough lines, I mean, eventually she's got to run out of money.
I don't know that. She hasn't yet.
I mean, if you keep buying her, she's going to have to, maybe she'll have to sell something.
For these years, over these years, she hasn't yet. And I don't know her finances. I don't know her finances.
Approximately how many buildings do we have right now tied up in?
Like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 buildings in.
4 or 5, maybe 6 buildings tied up in court right now. Okay? And every time we do something, we get legislation changed on it and move it to a different venue. Okay? You know? The course that I think that the man is taking right now is our best bet. Okay? I know everybody here believes in what they think what we do. Okay? But we need your support, which I think you have. Thank you very much. Okay? I don't want to go to jail either. Okay?
With respect to fines, one of the things you can do is you can talk to our building inspector. He is the fine man. He is the one that issues fines.
That's me.
Right next door to me.
All right, I'll take over. If somebody else has something. Okay, I don't want to throw somebody under the bus, and I'm not doing it intentionally. I'll probably run myself over instead. But I see a guy up here sitting by himself with a blue shirt on that you represent something a lot to do with in southern Indiana, do you not?
That guy right
And
there.
I know you're used to talking into a mic because I've heard you many times. Is it possible you can shed light on what's going on and tell us that you don't want votes or something? Is it but anyway, like I say, I don't want to throw you under the bus if you don't want to speak, but I'm asking you if you could throw some light, some more, and I can't remember your name, but we talked and you gave me.
Absolutely.
And remember, it's an election year, people.
That's
State of Indiana.
There you go.
It's an election year. You're not
Sorry
getting
about
answers.
that.
Get them down here.
But I was hoping that you can really shed some light because I don't think a lot of these people know who you are.
Can you hear me on this one?
No.
It's going to help the person looking here too. Okay. Well, hello everyone. I didn't come down for any kind of campaign or anything like that. I'll just introduce myself. I'm Daryl Schmidt. I'm our state senator. Okay. I represent Gibson, Pike, DuBois, Spencer, Perry, and Crawford counties. So there's 140,000 people in Senate District 48 that I represent. So I'm a farmer west of Jasper. Everybody heard of Ireland or Otwell? On the DuBois Pike County. So I'm a farmer there. Grew up in Pike County my whole life, and then went to college, worked for UPS for a number of years. Mom died of breast cancer when she was 50, so I moved back to the farm. I've been farming for the last 33 years. 4 years ago, I decided that it was time to put up or shut up, and I decided to get involved. I was on the DuBois County Council for a couple years, and then when our Senator Messmer ran for Congress, I said, you know what, why not? Why not get involved? I have no axe to grind, nothing specific that I was mad about. I just thought it was my time to give back to the community and try to help in any way I can, okay? When I got on the county council, it took me 3 weeks before I met with every department head in the county, and that was just so I could learn what the job was about. I made that same commitment when I became our senator, that I was going to come to every city, county, and town council meeting in District 48. It's taken me a little longer to get here than I'd hoped. I didn't realize there were 39 councils when I made that commitment. So anyway, so that's basically the reason that I'm here, is just to sit and learn and listen and be a voice for 140,000 people. I don't claim to have all the answers to everybody's problems. I'm just a conduit to try to help you guys find solutions to your problems, whatever they may be, wherever they are. Okay, so that's why I'm here, is just to listen and learn and be an advocate. Mayor Graves has told me about the issues and has explained to me the processes and things that you guys are trying to accomplish. Looks like a pretty big task, a lot of legalese. So I don't necessarily have all the answers for you here this evening, but I'm here just to try to help to get people, connect people to with the solutions they need. So that's basically, that's why I'm here. I haven't met everybody here yet, but before the end of the day, you'll have my cell phone number of people setting in here have it. So I'm just here to try to help and listen, and I'll work my best. I'll do my best to try to help come up with solutions. They have to jump through all the hoops. That has to happen. I don't claim to know all the details of everything, but I will help, and I'll be here afterwards. That's why I came down, to listen and learn and help, because when I started this, I was on the county council, and I thought, I wonder where will I be able to advocate the best for the people of Southern Indiana? And should I stay at the local level on the county council? Because there's a push right now to get decision-making power from the federal level to the state level, and a big push to get decision-making power to the local level. That's one of my priorities, is to get as much decision-making power to the local level, whether it's taxation, taxes, whatever the case may be, because I think we can do a better job of handling our money at the local level. We can do a better job advocating for ourselves. So that's my goal, is just delivering decisions local, accountability, and transparency. Okay? That all ties into here, so I'm going to do my best to try to help you guys. It's been a struggle for a number of years. I apologize that I was late getting here. I didn't know the meeting was moved, so I went over to the library downstairs, and I couldn't find anybody. I said, well, I'm not going to give up it somewhere. So I actually toured the city pretty good. It was the fourth person that I found that knew that you guys were in here. But during that process, I have not made it here to see what your mayor has said about the blight and the problems, and you guys there's a lot of issues here that need to be straightened up for you guys. And I don't claim to have solutions now, but you do have my word that I'll try to do whatever I can to be a tool to support those guys and to support you guys. If it's whatever we can do, if it's legislation, okay, fine. I'm not a big proponent of legislation. One of my jobs is to keep dumb things from actually becoming law as much as possible. But I think there should be rules and laws in place that we can use to solve these problems. Because to me, from my outsider farmer perspective, these are common sense things that should have a common sense answer. So, yes, you have a question?
Could you speak to a word that I have heard used a lot tonight, and that is advocacy and to advocate? I feel like as a community, we are powerful when we can do that, but we need to understand how to use that tool. We need to understand how to use the power that we have as citizens. Our civic engagement, I feel like, is diminished because we're not used to having to deal with a problem like this. It's unusual. I mean, it's happening. This one person has caused it to happen in quite a few communities that I'm aware of. But we cannot see from where we are where we trip, where it goes from like, oh, this is going to happen. We're here for this meeting tonight, and we were expecting it to be something that would actually move forward, but then we find that it's hurry up and wait. So is waiting something that's real important, learning how to wait and be patient and trust the process? We got to know what the process is so we can trust it.
Okay, that's at least a two-part question. So the first thing that I would say, being a farmer and owning a business and coming out of the private sector, when we have a problem, you come up with a solution, right? And you go from 1 to 10 and you fix it, okay? Government is a little bit different. You know, it's unfortunate. I figured that out, that, you know, and I've been 2 sessions now at the legislature, so it's almost if you can go from 1 to 3 the first year, that's a win, and then you have to go. Now, I was mad in a hornet, you know, both sessions when I get out of it thinking no progress and nothing's happened, but I think, you know, we've been here 250 years, and I guess we got the best system running, even though it's horrible in a lot of aspects. The majority of so-called democracies they last like 17 years. Okay, so we're a lot further along. So the point of that story is maybe this is no comfort to you guys, but if it's slower to solve problems, it's also it makes sure we don't create as many unintended consequences possibly. Okay, that answers that question. I know it's not a good answer, but that's just a reality of government. It's slow and cumbersome, maybe by design, so we don't overreact. But then the second question, I'm not good. You guys are here, okay? Advocacy is what you said. I wondered how politicians, when they get 3 questions at a time, how they can remember, but I've remembered the second one. And I'm not a politician, I'm just a farmer, I hate that term. Advocacy, you guys are here. You're sitting here, you're vocal, you're participating in the process. That's what we have to do. You know, whether it's from the ballot box or anything else. But you're here talking to these guys, holding them accountable, who then, if they have problems, then they're going to hold me accountable. And that's what we all have to do. So you're doing what you need to do here to advocate for yourself. That's my honest answer. Any other questions? I didn't mean to take over the meeting. I just came to listen and learn.
You're fine, Senator.
You being here, you can hear and feel these people in Cannelton.
Absolutely, I can hear your frustration. I see your frustration, and you guys are being very respectful. But I can tell you're frustrated, and I see why.
Have you seen the buildings?
That's what I said. I was 20 minutes late, so.
Have you looked in them though? You stopped and got out of your vehicle?
No, I will here later. The mayor's told me about it, and I haven't made it down here, but now here I am.
When it's over, we'll take you by there, and I'll show you some videos.
I'll be happy to look at whatever you want to look when we get done here. All right. Anything else?
We need your help, and thank you for speaking, and I did not mean to throw you under a bus.
That's okay.
I appreciate you speaking. I know you speak well. I've heard it too many times.
Okay, well, I used to get, you know, I didn't know what I was doing when I got started here a couple years ago, not that I really do now, but I never get upset if somebody's passionate about their position. That means they care about what they're talking about. You know, will everybody agree on every position all the time? No. I don't take offense to if somebody's growling. They're just advocating for their position. And like I said, there's roughly 140,000 people in District 48. I'm just trying to be a megaphone, a conduit, mouthpiece, whatever it is, to try to help. So I don't have the answers, but I'll work to try to help and come up with the answers. So nothing else. Thank you, and I'll be here. Yeah, let's go make a tour after.
One question for the council. This has nothing to do with the 2 houses though, but it does have to do with her, him, and any other small business owner. Does Cannelton not have the ability to set up some type of grant during this process to maybe assist these small businesses through this financial hardship that's being put on them, or a small business loan subprime that might be able to have interest to them, that might also be assistance to them to be able to keep their doors open for the community?
GoFundMe page, is that the quickest way? No, I'm serious.
Hey, you can just find
It shouldn't be.
You want it settled?
We pay taxes.
I got a bunch of real estate I can't sell right now.
I don't have answers. Is there an answer to that? I'm sure there is. I can take that formula and get back with you, okay?
Yeah, you don't have to get back with me. I'm just concerned about the small businesses that are in the community.
Okay, and I'm glad to hear that, because you're one of 7 or 8, whatever's in this building, we all do the same way. And I don't know that if you start that, it would be a 2-year process. before you get an answer to that. You've got to understand the wheels here. And that creates another problem. That they would be holding out against hope that may take granting. Listen, I've sat and waited 2 years, 3 years for grant money. And to give an answer off the top of my head right now would not be fair, not to them certainly, without it being formulated and being identified and bringing into discussion and having a hard, firm, positive or negative, whichever that route may be, to take to them without holding up their hopes for no reason whatsoever. So I can't give you that answer. It's not there.
So it was worth asking.
It sounds like the only thing that's gonna be left in Cannelton is the welcome sign.
Say that again? Wait, say that again? Say,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, I didn't. The only thing that's gonna be left in Cannelton is the welcome sign coming across the bridge. Well, I'm seeing a lot of businesses walking out.
No, the pumper will be there.
See, I don't even know what that building is. You keep saying it, I have no clue what that is.
Used to be the best tavern in town.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, that's why it's popular.
But we had 8 of them.
Well, if there's no businesses, I guess the Dollar General sign will be holding it up or whatever.
Obviously, is your consideration for the city, this city.
Smokey. Mr. Skaggs will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, you better go for it. Get the water out of there,
That was exactly what I said out for this morning. And it takes a community to make good things happen. And here we are, we've got an engineer coming, and it's something that we can use with this quest that we have. And thank you, Patty, I mean, I look forward to speaking with them, absolutely. Please do, yeah. I will be in the office doing what I do, sure. Anybody else?
And don't feel like we're attacking you all, because we're not.
Oh,
We know this
you
pump
voice your
been here
opinion,
for
you
years.
voice your opinion as you see fit, absolutely.
A lot of times when I speak, people get upset and say, I hate this, I hate that. That was not a cutthroat remark. I just hate to see a restaurant that I can actually walk by. I wish I
Same
would.
here. I live right there. I walk the walls. I go to him, actually.
Talk about that number room or whatever. I tell you, I can always walk to a bar and get a beer.
We only got
have one of them. You know, they closed down the wagon wheel.
You never need them.
We can solve it. Didn't know what the world's going on. That was that. You know?
I appreciate everybody showing up. Thank y'all.
No, you don't need it today.
I don't like repeating myself, because I don't like when someone repeats herself 100 different times. But I'm gonna repeat it again. I need these letters, and I need the testimonials. That is huge. And I can promise you, we've done our work, and now we need your work. And that's part of it. And like I said, I'm always reachable by phone. Rod said, if you can't give them to me tonight, someone can email me, message me, or whatever, I'll pick them up, meet with you, but these are very important letters and testimonials.
If there's nothing more to come before the Board of Public Works, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. I have a motion to adjourn. I need a second to that motion.
I'll make a second.
I have a second. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.